Hi guys and welcome back to the Geronimo and Gonzalo show. Today it's just me, Geronimo, and I'm going to take you through some more footage I found on the internet of the Rotterdam map for Battlefield... Oh, Battlefield 1? Battlefield 5, of course. There's been some interesting comments on the last sets of videos that I've put up, specifically around this Rotterdam map. A lot of people feel like it feels like BF3 and the Sea Crossing map, which I really enjoyed. It was actually my favourite map in Battlefield 3, so I'm quite happy to have that as a comparison. I think that the game looks... the big worry there is that obviously it feels like we're kind of stepping back a bit, but I think going back to that time to kill and those slightly more open maps, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that really they need to look at maybe... My personal opinion is that I would maybe increase the player count. I think as they're starting to look into Battle Royale and you'd need 100 players for this, is it such a bad thing to say, you know, kind of 40 players versus 40 players and just pad it out a little bit more, considering there's going to be more, especially on the Conquest maps, considering there's going to be a lot of people dying quicker. It does definitely feel a bit empty, which is quite interesting. I don't know if that's just the sessions they had, maybe they weren't completely filled out. But if you look here, and there's only a couple of players all the way over here, but then these weapons are going to be so much more deadly at range. I can feel that already, just like the Battlefield 3 weapons were. So yeah, it's quite an interesting perspective for people to feel like it's a bit empty. So I would think that adding a few more players wouldn't be a bad thing. Anyway, that's a personal opinion. In general, the game is looking beautiful. I love that there's this ray tracing technology that they've put in and stuff. It does look amazing. I mean, I'm going to be playing on PlayStation 4, so PS4 and Xbox, you're not going to get to see that stuff, sadly. But I mean, I guess that's just the way it goes. So I'm more curious to see how this plays on PlayStation 4, and I think it will feel more like BF1, like a lot of you have mentioned also. It might feel a little bit more like BF1 than we imagine without that ray tracing on. So it's really, we have to look to these features, these new features, like being able to drag a player that's downed and pull him out of the action and into cover to revive him, or some of the building technology and stuff, which, to be honest, I'm not super crazy excited about being able to build, you know, sandbags and stuff. Like it doesn't excite me a million times over. But I do think it's an interesting mechanic, and they are trying to find new ways for us to play, and I think that's really important. Especially, I've seen a few comments saying this is basically the same game, and of course it is. It's Battlefield. Well, you know, unless they made a completely different IP, I think they're always going to be rewrapping the same idea. So it's really, how far can you take it? How can you make the gameplay more interesting? And, you know, what new game modes can you start to play around with and stuff. So I think this will be a real telltale of the franchise. The sniper sweet spot is gone, which is a new thing, which I think we're all quite happy to go back to the skill-based headshot scenario. There was a recent interview that Westy gave to one of the head honchos at DICE, talking about customization and kind of the future of the game, which I think is really an interesting interview. It's really worth watching. I'll leave a link in the description below. Just, I like the way he talks about the customization, and that really you can be who you want to be, whether you want to be a World War II soldier and it be just really on point in terms of the historic side of it, or if you want to be a little bit more outlandish, then you can. Obviously the quick catalyst into the next part of the conversation would be women in Battlefield. I understand that people generally aren't happy with it, and I understand both sides of the argument, just because it's historically inaccurate, but you know, at the end of the day, if this game is fun to play, that really should be the most important thing. And I don't think people need to get stuck on it too much. But I do understand both points of view. I definitely, like, I'm a big World War II and World War One buff and fan, and I absolutely adore it historically. So it's kind of so close that it feels a bit strange to do that. But at the same time, it is a video game, so I'm kind of torn in between all opinions there, really. As long as it's fun, I get to play with my friends, I'm going to be happy. Now, this map, the Rotterdam map, feels way better to me than the Nordic map, which again kind of fit into that outlandish kind of thing they were trying to do with that trailer, you know, trying to show all this crazy stuff off, and it just didn't really stick. The core fan base kind of rejected it, as we saw. So it's quite interesting to see them now kind of backtrack with the trailers and go back into this traditional thing. So I think all the Battlefield stuff you love will be there. It's just a matter of them trying to bring in this new kind of element of this kind of outlandish style, but it really just didn't stick with people. Anyway, hopefully the Rotterdam footage has given us a bit more of a traditional aspect of BF5. Battlefield is kind of like an open beta, and they will change it as you go along, and so you have to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt and see how it goes. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Geronimo and Gonzalez.